Hi, everybody. Welcome to Life Stories Podcast, People Helping People. I'm Shara Goswick, your host. My guest today is Hilary Powers. On the outside, Hilary's life as a child looked spectacular. Her mom was in show business. Hilary herself was the voice of Sally on Charlie Brown. But on the inside of their home, there were lots of struggles of abuse and trauma and just some hard things going on. Today, Hilary shares her very vulnerable story and her journey through all of it and addiction and how she got healed. And now she is spending her time teaching people how to get out of those limiting belief systems. You know, when we go through hard things, sometimes we tell ourselves some lies. We believe some lies. We try to protect ourselves. And it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes we're making things harder than they need to be because of the things that we're believing. And so Hilary is very honest about her story, and she genuinely wants to help those who struggle like she did. I think you're going to be very encouraged today. Thank you for being here. Hilary, I'm so excited to talk to you. You have done some really cool things in your life, like some very cool things. I can't wait to talk about that. But even what you're doing now, I think is very important. And you are a motivational speaker and you're teaching people to get past their old belief system, which I think everybody deals with at some point in their lives. And there's a reason why you're doing what you're doing now. You have quite a story. So, can you tell us how you got to the point that you are right now?
Oh, I love it. It's like saying, how was the soup made?" You're like,
Yeah.
"It just didn't happen."
Right,
If
right.
it were just about turning the heat on, I've
Yeah.
had a lot of heat on my life. But it's really about putting all kinds of ingredients in it, you know?
Yeah.
I like to use I'm an artist, I think outside of the box. I'm blessed with that. And then the flip side is I'm cursed because I can't see the practicality of things. So I'm like,
Right.
why isn't it done yet? Why isn't the suit made? Because it
Yeah.
takes time. Life is
Yeah.
about time. Gosh, how did I get to where I'm today? Well, if you don't die and get old, you'll have a lot of wisdom. So I'm at a place in my life where I'm a little bit older and I've learned to look at my hardest adventures as my greatest assets. And I've learned to look at my biggest failures as my biggest prizes. Um, I'm, I have that childlike spirit in me, which I think we all do, and that's a
Yeah.
wonderful thing. Like God wants us to come with a childlike spirit, not
Absolutely.
childish, not immature, just the childlike spirit, which is I'm in a lot of wonder
Mhm.
constantly. And I've turned my anxiety into wonder. It's like when I was a little kid, it was like, "Go outside and play," and I would make believe, and instead of going out saying, "I don't know what to do," which is where we are at today, it's like, "Oh, I don't know." I've turned it into, "I don't know what I'm gonna find,"
Yeah.
and it's kind of just a little shift, so I'll give you a little history, and, when you're a child and I grew up in this ecosystem where, I was created in God's image, which is pure, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden life happens.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden I have a mother who's a narcissist and an alcoholic who beat us.
Mm.
Have I compare myself to my friends who have more money than me, and we're like 7 kids, like, trying to get the next meal, but
Right.
we look like we have a lot of money, so it's very confusing.
Yeah.
So, as a kid, my mom was a very wealthy kid, and she married the poor boy. So, there's that sliding scale, and so nothing for her was ever enough. And when
Right.
you have alcoholism, and I use that term lightly because it could be food addiction, gambling,
Right.
or
Yeah.
anything outside of myself to fill that void, that whole
Sure.
aping hole of like, it's not enough, it's not enough, it's not enough. And when you grow up in that environment, you take on the hurts, the angers, and the disappointments of the person who's uncomfortable. Because I'm
Mhm.
a little kid and I wanna make mommy happy, and I want everybody to be happy, and I wanna we all even you see kids in the playground, someone's crying and 90% of the kids will go, Why are you sad? Come on, let's play." And so when you grow up in this environment where there's a lot of anger, a lot
Yeah,
of violence, and all of a sudden, my my normal attitude of being happy, joyous, and free is all of a sudden I'm, like, in fear, and that's my original trauma button,
right.
always afraid. And so I grew up in this family where my mother was a Jackie Gleason girl. She would say, "Here's Jackie." You gotta be old to know that show. I mean,
That's awesome.
so she gave up her career to have these damn children, as she
Yeah,
so now immediately I'm thinking, "Oh, I gotta be a perfect little girl to make mommy happy because
right.
she didn't really want me." Here's more of my original wounds. I stick that in the back of my mind. I gotta be perfect. I gotta be the good little girl. And so when she took us to Hollywood, because we lived in California, I looked like Shirley Temple. Just happened to look like with the curly hair,
Yeah,
blue eyes, and the hi, I'm always happy, joy,
yeah.
wonderful, whatever it is, sucker in my mouth. And so I got this first job being Sally in Charlie Brown Peanuts.
So that is just a cool thing. I just think it's so cool.
Yeah, it sounds great, but at
Yes.
5, you don't know what you're doing.
Mm.
I get brought to a studio, they sit and have a conversation with me. I'm thinking I had to repeat lines, and they just wanted to see what kinda kid I was. So, to see what energy I was gonna bring character, and I was just Hilary, and it was enough just being me. But when I went home I thought I had to be someone else. I had to be the perfect little girl. I thought if I don't make this commercial, my brothers and sisters are going to starve. I mean, these were the little messages my mother said. We need more money. So at 5 and 6 years old, I became a workhorse.
Wow.
I put a mask on. Oh, I gotta go. I gotta get it.
Yeah.
I gotta give, give, give. And in my work that I do with the girls I coach or even when I do speaking is I talk about the triangle of trauma.
Mhm.
We all get it. It's,
Yeah.
the body, the mind, and the spirit. We know how
Mhm.
that's put together. But in trauma, you are always in that live or die, win or lose.
Yeah.
Am I gonna be okay? Is mom are they gonna be starving? Or are we gonna be homeless? There's 3 types of personalities you take on.
Yeah.
People pleaser, a loner, the kid that, like, sits and reads a book all the time, doesn't have friends, doesn't talk to
Mhm.
anybody, or the controller, the bully. You see that in middle school, and you see it in
Mhm.
high, where if you look for the signs, you see that there's something going on at home that's not being addressed.
Right.
But we live in such a quick society, we're like, well, they're the good kids, they're the bad kids. So we all of a sudden we black and white them.
Right.
Good, bad, right, left, red, blue. Duality sets in. And we don't deal with the person as a whole. It becomes too much time consuming, or we just want to go with the winner. Pick a winner, hang out with a winner.
Yeah.
So those kids that are in this family environment are in a trauma state all the time. And I was this kid, I had blisters on my fingers. I bit my fingernails to the book.
Mm.
So at 5, all the way up till 12, I became, what do you want me to be? The people.
Yeah.
And, it sounds fun. It's like you're on TV. Well, we only had 4 channels, so I
Yeah.
was a lot of commercials.
Yeah.
But you always saw me, and my friends at
Wow.
school would say, "Are you on that commercial?" And I said, "No, it's my sister," because I didn't wanna be different. I
Wow.
just wanted to be a part. I wanted
Mm.
have to feel a sense of belonging. But when you're in trauma, there's no stabilization, there's no safe
Mm-mm.
feeling. You always what's gonna go home? Is mom gonna be in a good mood? Is she gonna be drunk? Is she gonna hit me? And you couldn't see because everybody judged our outsides. It looked like we were doing well, but
Yeah.
no one asked questions because we're comparing our insides to their outsides. So I grew up in this crazy environment. So good girl turns bad at 12. I realized that my mother had spent all the money she'd saved for me.
Oh, wow.
And, she basically said, you're not working anymore. My
Mhm.
voice had changed, and I didn't wanna do commercials because I never went to school. I was always on interviews, and I couldn't
Yeah.
read till I was 11. They
Wow.
tell me what to say. I'm a good parrot. I follow direction well. I don't have my own voice, I don't have my own likes, but I have an imagination. So, I had a horse called Chocolate. He was a pony,
Mhm.
and I would go to Chocolate, and I would tell him all my stuff, and that was my sounding board.
Wow.
Because I didn't feel safe talking to anybody because I had to be perfect.
Right.
And
I understand.
this year
Yeah.
said nothing.
Right.
You see kids with animals. There's their which is so soothing, having an animal to touch, it
Sure.
changes our chemistry, it changes our mind, and frequency shifts. But what ends up happening is I become dependent on something.
Mhm.
And that's where I started. My addiction, I don't know. The chicken or the egg, or was it my mother's drinking, or was
Right.
the abuse? I don't know. All I know is I start going outside of myself to get soothed because I don't trust what's going on inside. And I talk a lot about this because this is the stuff we don't talk about.
Exactly.
We just get a new job or a new house or a new husband or a new kid or a new something, then I'll feel better.
Right.
I spend my life living outside of myself, trying to feel good inside of myself. And it's so confusing. So I spent my life in terror, fear. And that underlining message is I'm not enough. I'll never get there.
How many people in this world right now are living that? They
It's
believe that and they feel that. That's why I think what you're doing is so important, helping people get past that. So I know that you were in addiction for a long time, but what was the turning point for you that made you realize you needed to something needed to change?
well, I had been in so much I had been in so much of, like, trying to live outside of myself, "Do you love me now? Do you love me now?" And then I turn on myself because I think, "Well, it's never feeling good, so I must not be worth loving." And I drop out of school, and I'm 14 years old, I'm living on the streets. I'm
Wow.
like an icon, like, look at, like,
Yeah.
the Peanuts characters, like, that's our childhood. Yet behind that mask, that cartoon, that character we
Mhm.
play, but really what's going on is I hate myself so much, I'm gonna destroy myself. I'm playing God. I'm the judge. I'm the jury. And so I self-destruct, and by the time I'm, 16, I'm selling pots and pans on the side of the highway in Compton and selling myself
Mm.
and eating drugs and just, I don't care, I'm gonna die. I feel like I failed. I failed God, I failed my parents, I failed. I'm a loser. And I was 21 years old. I had dropped out of high school, went to 9 high schools, never graduated, but I lie
Oh,
well
wow.
because I'm an actor. I
Yeah.
lie well when I get into a little medical college to be an LVN, and I say, "Oh, yeah, my diploma's in the mail, it's in the mail." And when in doubt, I know how to rally up. I got
Wow.
grade A's, and I got through, and they're like, "Well, of course you graduated from high school." Why? Um, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna become a nurse so I can save people, not because I wanna help them. There's a cost. I want you to save me in return because if I'm a people pleaser. If I take care of you, you'll take care of me, right? Codependency. Codependent. I'm depending on you to make me feel good. And I don't even know I'm so wrapped up in it until finally, everything has an expiration date. Even go take your milk out of the refrigerator. Expiring. And everything starts to curdle in my life curdle. So I'm 21 years old. I'm getting high and I go into a grand mal seizure.
Mm.
And I'm in Venice and I remember it like it's yesterday. And I look up and I said, God, if you're real, help me. And they stopped.
Wow.
And I would love to say, and all of a sudden the walls parted.
Right.
Didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
Because my ego rebuilds itself. It says, oh, good, I'm good now.
Yeah.
I don't need you anymore. Thanks anyway. Thanks, dude. Thanks.
Right.
I'm calling the shots.
Yeah.
I'm still playing God. And so that was the first time I got the crack in my egg.
Mm.
A little bit of light came in. And because of that one experience, I started noticing other light type people. Like all of a sudden, a woman said to me, God, Hillary, you're so smart. What are you going to do with that brain of yours? And I thought, wow, no one's ever said anything nice to me. So I end up, I'm walking down Venice Boulevard, and a guy says to me, hey, a guy had a crush on because I thought, "Are you gonna save me?" I was always a boy or a job or
Right.
something gonna fix me. You're my savior. Like, little do I know I need to go to God, but I see this guy and he says, "Man, I'm going to these meetings. You wanna go with me? You look horrible." Now, he says, "I'll help you." And what my mind heard was, "I'm gonna be your boyfriend."
Right.
I'm like, "Okay." I get introduced to this world where I see a lot of other people that feel as broken as I do. So going to my program, they tell me I gotta pray. And I'm like, oh God, we gotta go there again. I already tried that. So when get out of my trauma, in order for me to even grow, I've got to get that bottom line, which is my foundation. So my seeing, my tasting, my touching, my hearing, my smelling, those are my senses. I got to stabilize my senses. So I stopped drinking and I stopped using drugs and smoking pot, anything that affects me from the neck up. And I would binge on food. I was
Yeah.
throwing up 10 times a day.
Wow.
I would binge food trying to get that hit of like, ugh. And then I was so angry, I'd throw it up.
Gosh.
And it was so torture, my mind was so tortured.
Oh, yeah.
Look in the mirror, "I hate you, you're fat, you're ugly, I hate you, I" that
Mm.
was my mantra. But someone would say, "How you doing today?" And I go, "Great."
Yeah.
I'm dying inside, I'm just
Oh,
from the inside out. And so when I got in, I stabilized, meaning I'm stopping drinking and drugging.
yeah.
I start eating better. I start seeing different people and not hanging out in bars or, watching porn. And I've done it all. 'Cause I want to get hit somewhere. I want to
Yeah.
feel better. Well, that
Yeah.
made me feel better. And I started calming myself down and I started praying and saying, I don't know if you're here, dude, but can you help me today? Can you help me just, can you, can you take the anxiety away? And it would start dissipating. My mind would say, I did it. But then I catch a glimpse of like, wow, that was cool. Like,
Yeah.
feel better today. I would get these mentors would say, I want you to just go sit by a tree and listen to the birds. All of a sudden it would calm me down.
Yeah.
So once I get to that stabilization, that state of safety, then I can emerge and start having relationships with others because I'm calm inside, start bringing in a different energy. Then I'm around people that are like, yeah, I prayed today. I didn't feel it. And I go, me too. So now I get a sense of belonging. I get into a community. Even if you don't go to a 12-step program, there are other avenues to work this out. Like you can go
Sure.
girls and boys club, go to like a book club or go to church. It doesn't matter. But once you can stabilize yourself, then you can emerge outside to the
Right.
world and still stay stable. Once I get that sense of belonging, then I start like someone says, hey, Hillary, it's so great to see you today. I'm like, really? Wow. I start getting self worth.
Mm.
A little self-esteem, like, little bit. So here's my soup. This is more stuff put in my soup. And I start
Mhm.
just standing taller. I don't wanna throw up anymore. I don't really feel like eating so much because I'm being fed from the
Innate.
inside out instead of the outside in. Now once I start feeling a little bit better, my self-worth, my esteem starts rising. If you think uplifted or I'm enlightened, I'm lightening my load.
Yeah.
I'm becoming lighter. And then all of a sudden, I go, I can get that job. Yeah, why not? If you can do it, sure. So yeah, I'm productive
Right.
and I get into the stream of life. And all of a sudden, people call me and I show up on time. Now, if I do well, I feel well. Do good, I feel good. You know, when they say love is a verb, it means it's an action word. I got to
Right.
act as if I love myself. And I tell your listeners, I get it. I know. I have been there. I can feel it in my chest when you're
Right.
anxious. It's like, ah, but I'm here to promise you and assure you that all it takes is a couple little steps
Yeah.
to the right to change that paradigm that you can feel a new existence, you know? So all of a sudden I'm being productive and now I want to help and I want to be there for somebody.
Right.
And I see I am an asset to the world.
Right.
Of-
I always say, everybody goes through something. Everybody's going through something hard or has been through something hard. But I always feel like, man, what a waste if we go through something hard and we come out on the other side, not just surviving, but we are able to whatever, overcome whatever it is we go through. What a waste to not use our experiences to help other people. I mean, I think God allows those things, allows us to go through some things for that reason because, you know, I can I can help people from some things that I've been through, but there are other issues that people have that I don't know how to like drugs. I can't help any with that. I don't know what that's like. But there are people that can. And so that's why I think what you're doing is so important because people need to hear from somebody that's been through it. They've been through it and they're out on the other side and now let me show you. So what is one for anybody that's listening that has been through trauma, whatever it is, who is just kind of overwhelmed. Maybe they feel like they're drowning. What is one step that you can tell them to take to get a breath of fresh air?
Well, the first things first is pause.
Right.
You know, I call pause like what I would consider pausing because when you're in that traumatic, you're in a reactive state. You're just like,
Yeah.
someone says, why are you doing this? Let's say your husband or your girlfriend or your child screams. I think I got to fix it immediately.
Right.
And even if it's, they yell at me, I'm going to yell back because I'm in live or die, good,
Right.
bad. I talk like that and I can feel it in my chest. It's like
Yeah.
that word pause is like putting a bumper on a car.
Yeah.
It prevents you from crashing.
Yeah.
It can
That's good.
prevent you from destroying your vehicle.
Yeah.
This is my vehicle. There's my earth suit. And
Mhm.
inside my earth suit, I got this soul that I don't even know is there.
Yeah.
And the soul is connected to God because we're a team. And I don't even know that. I just think
Yeah.
I've been tossed out here out of mom's vagina and said, "Go figure it out, girl." And God's saying, "No, I'm in you.
Right.
Tap into it." So when I get to that moment when you and I'll talk as if I'm talking to somebody in the audience, I want you to imagine that pause is where God is. I can't find God unless I pause. And he's almost like he's the bumper. And it's like pause and take a breath. If I can go to my seeing, look at something more beautiful, go outside, get outside, put your feet in the ground. That old saying, hug a tree. They're not kidding. I mean, it's crazy,
Right.
crunchy granola stuff. It's so I can get grounded to something God made.
Mhm.
There, I'm tapping into that life force.
Right.
See something, smell something. Like I remember, I love to smell coffee.
Mhm.
Love to smell babies. I love to smell
Yeah.
like, think of something that pleases you, your senses. Touching, like, I will touch grass or this tree
Mhm.
or the ocean or the sand. Hearing, I'll put some nice music on or, I'll listen to kids' laughter in the playground. Oh my god, that soothes me.
Yeah.
The giggling, the screaming, it's like it reminds me of, seeing, touching, hearing, smelling, feeling. I'll touch my dog, your cat, touch something that's outside of you. That will stabilize you and it'll bring you right here. because right here, right now, you guys, everything's okay.
We live on property, and I love walking through the woods and just being outside, and it just relaxes you. It really brings that calm like you talk about. I know you talked about coaching earlier. Tell me about how people can find you and find your help and get in touch with you.
Well, I always think, quality over quantity. Like, I wanna gather, I want even if I don't feel I can help you, I wanna help you help yourself. Like, I wanna give you everything that I've learned. Like, I'm so excited
Sure.
about, like, this phase of my life that I just wanna give.
That's awesome.
It's so, you can contact me on book hilarypowers.live. We can set up a little meet and greet,
Sure.
and let's see where you're at. Let's see,
Yeah.
if we can work together, or even I'll just give you a bunch of stuff for fun and for free because,
Yeah.
I can't take this with me. When
Right.
it's gone, I can't take it with me, so I wanna give as much as I can. Or you can go to my website, which is Hilary Momberger, Momberger,
Mhm.
Powers with an S.com.
I'm excited to share our conversation because I know there are gonna be people that will be reaching out to you. I believe that there will be. There are people that are living in that and feeling overwhelmed, and I thank you for being so honest and vulnerable and, sharing your story.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and I wish everybody a wonderful, joyful season.
Absolutely.